thank you so much, Prabhuji, also for attending us today. So I'll briefly introduce our guest speaker today. So it's our honor and pleasure to welcome His Grace Adikeshav Prabhuji here, who is actually a doctor by profession, Dr. Ashok Shetty, and he is a dermatologist. So for many years, Prabhuji has served in ISKCON's well-known multi-specialty hospital, that is Bhaktivedanta Hospital in Mumbai. Since last more than 35 years, Prabhuji is practicing and preaching Krishna consciousness in and around Mumbai. Prabhuji has been guiding hundreds of youngsters and married couples in the path of Krishna Bhakti and helping them to lead a Krishna conscious life, a life dedicated to the service of Krishna. We are very honored to have with us His Grace Adikeshav Prabhu. So I'll request everyone to chant Hari Bol 3 times to welcome Prabhuji. Hari Bol! We will not take much time, and I'll request Prabhuji to start with the session today. Hare Krishna. So one small request, can you please silent your phones or can you put it on vibrate mode so we will not disturb the class. Hare Krishna.
Kaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnava Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Saharana Raghunatambitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Prabha Sarvana Lalita Shri Vishakam Cha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamine Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Prabhu. So it's a great honor and privilege for me to be in the midst of all of you. Thank you for coming, taking out your valuable time for today's discussion. The topic is spiritual perspective on the environmental crisis. Are you all aware that this Earth planet is burning, or it is slowly getting degraded, and it is slowly going to become a big dangerous place for human lives cannot survive? Well, we may not know, so we don't care for it, because we see around everything is okay. But it's a world view. Scientists all have predicted the way the things are moving. Very soon there will be, already we can see signs of disaster. So this is happening. It may take a few more years, but it is going to become worse. So we should keep quiet and just watch it becoming worse, or we should also discuss about that, what can we do for this? Are we responsible or not responsible? So okay, so today's discussion is, so there is a crisis, you all agree, because there are world conferences going on, climate change, ozone layer breaking up, ecosystem getting destroyed, species becoming extinct. You heard this, no? This. But he said, आपने वो क्या पढ़ी है उससे? क्या है? नहीं. So we should know that क्यों हुआ है? And plus किसने किया है? Who has done this? And plus, does spiritual people like organizations like this, do they have a solution? Or people see us as, अरे आप लोग तो क्या खाली भजन करते रहते, डांस करते, नाचते, आप लोग क्या करते? Do we have some? Or of course there are researchers, there are scientists, there are philosophers. Everyone is working very hard to find a solution to what is happening to all this. What is happening to the rivers? What is happening to the soil, the air, the sky, the food what we eat? And they are working. So we wish them all the best. Please find a solution. But do we also have something to say? That is the discussion. The title is Spiritual. No spiritual. Does it have a solution? Let us see. Okay? So you all are there with me? So it's a very, very grave topic. Huh? So you should not be the same people after this class. You have to really become very disturbed. So my job is to disturb you, stir your mind. And when you go out, you have to, अरे कुछ करना चाहिए. हम लोग ऐसे नहीं बैठ सकते चुपचाप. है क्या? Correct? So ठीक है, चलो गया. So let Belgaum be the beginning of this revolution. Okay. So there is this slide is showing that this planet which is there, it is designed in such a way that there is an ecosystem where everyone is living on, there is a balance. So you cannot break the balance, then everything will, when you lose balance, everything gets destroyed. So your interdependency and how it will impact us, each and everyone, and plus the future generation. So we are responsible to see that why should we leave a mess behind for the future generation? Should we do something now? So you all agree that there is health effects which I don't have to discuss, right? When our environment is something which we see, the sky, the mountains, the trees, the river, the soil, the vegetables, the flowers, the animals, the birds. Now, are they just, we can do anything with them? What I think is right, or there is some responsibility? If you think that I am dominant human intelligence, technology, power, I can do anything I want. Yes, you did it. Now you have faced the consequence. So even if it is late, we are still discussing. And what has spirituality to do with this? That is the main topic. Because the title says spiritual. So I would like to know from you after the presentation, what do you think? What should we do now? I can do PowerPoint. This. Right? So many of you are very familiar. Suna hai paper mein, YouTube, many presentations are there. So I will not bore you again repeating, but still it is one. The planet is deteriorating. It's a very serious problem. With a few things like the climate changing, global warming. You heard, no? Global warming and unseasonal rains and unseasonal climate change. So many things are happening which we think that ठीक है यार क्या, but well, habitat destruction, biodiversity loss, deforestation, pollution, soil erosion, contamination. It's all levels. So the next question is, who is responsible? Who is responsible? Animals? Animals are the ones who are living in harmony with nature. Do they break the laws of nature? They are. Because they are, by instinct they act, but they don't break. Then who is the one who is not happy with what he has, but he wants more? Dil maange more. Who is that? Humans. So there is enough for everyone's need, but not enough to satisfy even one person. Now, how did it happen is different, but it's true. But humans are the one who are actually the main people who are living here. They are more responsible, more intelligent. You accept that they are more intelligent than animals? Yes or no? Yeah, that's why you all are sitting here. Huh? Animals can't sit here, right? I can't make it. Animals come and sit here and talk. So, I don't know how many of you know there is a zoo in America. It's a zoo here. So when you enter the zoo, there is a leopard and it will be written, this leopard can run at this speed, this much it weighs, its lifespan is like this, it predates on this animal, this and it's quite dangerous. So then you go to another cage, then there's another animal, some maybe lion or then some other hyena, very ferocious animal, and everything is written. Then all the visitors, the guests who are coming, then they come to another cage and there is written, this is the most dangerous species on this planet. It has caused havoc on this planet. It's like this. And in the cage, when you look into the cage, there is a curtain. And they wonder, which is the species and why there is a curtain? And in short time the curtain opens. The curtain opens, there is a mirror. This is the species. This is the species which has caused terrorism, war, exploitation. What to speak about? Drilling, mining, deforestation, taking chunks out of, iron ore, dumping everything into the ocean, into the river, into the sky, into the soil. Who cares? This is for me. This is meant for me. And what is the consequence? See the consequence? So all over the world people are disturbed and they are working very hard. Scientists are working. They are working sincerely. With all their scientific knowledge, IITians, engineers, biotechnologists, environmentalists, government also is involved. Because it's a global problem. It is not just one country's problem. It's a whole global problem. NGOs, philanthropists, social workers, everyone, there are conferences, seminars, discussion that how to solve it, how to make our river water which is contaminated, how to make it this technology, that technology, how can we prevent? They are trying. But is it the real solution or are we just treating only the symptoms? You understand what is treating? Suppose if you have a boil here, so you treat the boil, remove the pus predominant, it heals. Then another boil comes in. So it heals. So any wise doctor, what will he think? What he should think? Go to the root cause. This is a blood infection. I have to test the blood, find out which is the right antibiotic, so the antibiotic can go everywhere and wipe out the infection. So unless you know the root cause of this problem, you will be just trying to solve superficially this problem, so that another problem comes here. You try to put this problem down, another problem comes here. So we wish all of them, but there is something which is missing. That is where the spiritual perspective comes. What is missing? So the root cause is, what is it written? The root cause is the mentality. The human mentality for exploitation. You know what is exploitation? This is meant for my enjoyment. So when in that, you don't restrict. Now there is no enough resources. So then you want to hook or crook, you break, do anything, but for me. So the mentality is the root cause. So what do we do? How do we treat the mentality? So here comes So we'll start. So is there any connection with this Prakriti, environmental, with the God? God is a, we know God is a creator. So Krishna says in Gita this word, Daivi Esha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya. Daivi Esha Guna. Daivi Esha Guna. So this Daivi is Prakriti. He's saying whose is it? Mine. So that means it is his. You cannot disconnect it. You can't say this is just नहीं बस ऐसा ही है अपना है सबका. So this divine energy of mind consisting of the three modes of material nature is very difficult to overcome, but those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. That's what he says. So now how do we understand? So I'm trying to connect it. That means environment has some connection with divinity, right? There is something divine. It is not something by chance it has happened and it is isolated. So the one of the reason why we should respect environment is because it belongs to someone. It is not something disconnected. So divinity or divine nature, no one has given the right to just do whatever you want because it belongs to someone. And not only that, what we have is environment. You know that it is like for Bhumi, for example. If Bhumi Mata we say, no? Why we say Mata? Mata means mother. Why? What is the function of a mother? Nourishing. So she is the one who is nourishing, sustaining, protecting. So naturally, when you know that you are deriving so much benefit, what should be there in the heart? Gratitude. Should have some gratitude, right? It's not some what type of a person? Can any civilized person will be ungrateful for what he has received? If you are a civilized person, grateful, kritagyata. And the fourth connection is, all this is meant definitely for us. It is our need, but then we have to utilize it with keeping the purpose in life. What is the purpose of life? Is simple living and high thinking. So you think high, not simple living and not thinking. I don't want, I want to go to the farm and just relax, I don't like this city life. No, simple living and high thinking. You think about what is the purpose of my existence, what is the purpose of life, what is there in life to be achieved, what is real success, what is death, what happens after death, why there is so much anxiety, how to be peaceful and happy, can I? Everyone wants. So that is high thinking. Human life begins when these questions start arising. If you are not having these questions, then we are just thinking, how can I relax, how can I sleep, how can I eat, how can I enjoy, how can I have sex, because animals are having sex, that's fucking great. How can I defend, how can I, even if you are doing in a very sophisticated way, but it is only animal propensity. So this is the four reasons we should know with environment. So this is the beginning of spiritual perspective, what we are initiating. So the next slide, now someone may say that, but technology has created such a big revolution, we are all, this is also technology, this is also technology, I am using it now. So are we against technology? Are we condemning? Are we telling we should give up all this? No. But there is one problem. With technology comes power. And power without proper wisdom, knowledge and character, what will be the result? What will you do with you have power, but you don't have any wisdom, you don't have any character, you don't have proper knowledge, what will you do with the power? You will misuse the power, no? That means misuse means you will exploit, you will create a rampage. And then with that greed is there, and greed makes a man go mad, right? That is not enough. More I want, more. It is like a burning fire. How much fuel you put, it is still burning more. So with this type of mentality, there is what is humanity going in this direction. So the consequence of that we already started seeing. This earth planet is suffocating. It is burning. And who are responsible? You and me. Humans means we all are equally responsible, no? Even if you say that मैं तो कुछ नहीं करता लेकिन और तुम चुप बैठते तो भी responsible हो गया ना? इसे अरे but मैंने कुछ नहीं किया, मैंने कोई डंप नहीं किया ओशन में, वो तो इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट कर रहे हैं, लेकिन तुम्हारे सामने हो रहा है सब. If you keep quiet means you are equally responsible. So अभी बोला नहीं, मैंने बोला नहीं है. Everyone is responsible now. Okay, there is nothing wrong in being responsible. अच्छा है. So the next slide. Now why this happens is again it is given in Bhagavad Gita. There is one chapter in Bhagavad Gita called Divine and Demoniac. So when a person, he has no knowledge about proper knowledge, he thinks he is the master, then what is his philosophy? Krishna says, Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha janaya vidurasura na socham napi nachacharona satyam teshu vidyam. Those who are demoniac do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Neither cleanliness nor proper behavior nor truth is found in them. And in the very next verse, they say that this world is unreal, with no foundation, no God in control. They say it is produce of sex desire and has no cause other than lust. So this is, in this mentality, demoniac mentality, when that mentality starts flourishing, it is reflected in the surroundings. Right? So this is a spiritual perspective which is already given. There are only two mentalities, divine and demonic. So as humans, those things are within us. Both divine is there, demonic is there. Whatever is stronger, that will manifest. If divine is stronger, divine. Sometimes, isn't it? Sometimes the demoniac rises, no? Suddenly you start getting that urge, the feeling, anger to do something or go and enjoy at the cost of hurting anyone, don't care. That's a demoniac mentality. And someone who is caring, very sober, so both are there. So what you nourish, that will become strong. So this is from Bhagavad Gita. So then again, this is the most important one again, the following verse. 16:7, 8, 9. The 9th verse says, following such conclusions, the demoniac who are lost to themselves and who have no intelligence engage in unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the clearly is written. So is it, do you agree? Do you agree that this is what is happening in the world? Following such conclusions, the previous two verses, that I am the enjoyer, I am the controller, I have so much, tomorrow I have so much, I will do everything. And with that mentality, they are lost to themselves, and no intelligence, engage in unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy them. So this is where is that mentality coming from. So where is the root cause now? Where is the root cause? Is it just अरे वो फैक्ट्रीज वाले सब गंदा पानी में डाल देते हैं? That is the cause? Yes, it is the cause. But that is the root cause? The root cause is that lack of that sensitivity that this is something divine. And this Prakriti is nourishing me. Gratitude, ये सब नहीं है. बस selfish, who cares? As far as I get my profit, I don't care what happens to the nature. So if this mentality flourishes, this world is going to crash. There will be no proper place for you to live. So what you see is just the early signs. So just to, it's very common when we say Bhumi Mata, you know, and we say that, no? Like in the school, there's a prayer, like, you know, morning when you get up, the children were taught, we were taught that before you put your foot on the ground, you pray that Bhumi, you're like your ocean is like a dress, the mountains is like your, you know, bosom, your please, so please forgive me, I am going to put my foot on. So this is a culture of sensitivity. So this is trained. If that training is not there, you don't care. So just like, you know, if the example of mother and child is given, if the mother keeps all her, you know, valuable things very open and she sees that the child is misusing it, what the mother will do? She will lock it up. She will lock it up. Because if I keep it open, he's going to misuse it, so lock it. So slowly now you see what is happening. If you go into the records in the history, the same 1 acre of land, some 50-60 years back, it used to yield so many tons of vegetables, but the same land now is not giving. Why it is not giving now? The land is same, the area is same. Home is holding it back. You know the thing what has happened in Punjab and Haryana. They are very rich states for green revolution, right? Farms. But out of greed, then they started putting chemical fertilizers. And these fertilizers, they started going into the groundwater. And the groundwater, the people started drinking. And the incidence of cancer is very high. And congenital defects. Mothers are giving birth to children with congenital defects. These are all consequences. There will be consequences. You cannot say that kuch nahi hai, kuch bhi kar sakte hai. Nahi. Face it. And same thing, just another example. If you go for, you know, like Janmashtami, you are going for some donation. And if you go and the person, if you go and ask, hold his collar, देता है कि नहीं? उसका हाथ घुमा के, अरे जन्माष्टमी के लिए ला बाबा, देगा ऐसा हाथ घुमा के देगा, तो बोलेगा अच्छा ठीक है, दे देगा. Next time देगा क्या हो? The same thing, now you twist your arm, you do this, you do that, chemical fertilizer, taking वो सब करके देखा बहुत आ गया, लेकिन अभी so even now in Punjab, for so many years they have done all these chemical fertilizers. Now the soils have become so destructive that it is not giving. So any activity in the beginning it may show everything, but then very slow there is a reaction. So these are all the things which we have to face. Okay? So ancient wisdom, if you see in Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna himself, the Lord, he gives so much importance. When Nanda Maharaj said that it is Indra who is giving rain, so we have to worship him. So Krishna says, no, it's not Indra. You don't have to worship Indra. It is Govardhan, Parvat, mountain. It is giving grass to, or it is giving herbs, it is giving water. There are so many facilities it is providing. Actually, we should worship Govardhan. It tricked Nanda Maharaj. But his ultimate purpose was, of course, to smash that mentality of Indra to think that I am the one who is controlled. So he used this means. So there were in the past there are very stringent laws in the ancient time and ancient civilization. Anyone, even if he dumps anything contaminated into water, the law is very strict. He'll be punished. Now there is not so much punishment, so free for all. Okay? So this is the consequence of ignoring. Because when we say that, well, environment is something which is meant for our enjoyment, the results of that will be pollution of rivers, excessive mining, deforestation, and land degradation, radiation and nuclear hazards, cow killing, and one thing which is not spoken. What is that? What is that? No one talks about it. Does anyone talk? Now, is this also in one sense environmental hazard? Or is it environmental क्या है? This is also a serious problem. You are not obeying the laws of nature. There is life. And you think, and the medical profession just to mask it, they will say, "Arey, kuch nahi hai, it is just an extra tissue, usko nikal dena." So the mother who is submitting herself for abortion thinks कि कुछ नहीं था, वो एक extra tissue था निकाल दिया. Is it extra tissue? It's a murder. So when these things are happening, you think Prakriti is going to keep quiet or continue? There has to be a reaction. As far as cow killing is concerned, of course, governments have their own policies changing here and there, but cow is like a mother. I know. Just because you stop giving milk, that doesn't mean that she's useless now and you can kill them. Of all the animals, cow is a very sacred animal. It's an animal in the mood of goodness. So it has so much medicinal value in its cow dung, in its urine, and kill them. So in the past there were kings who were very sensitive to all these type of things. Now the politicians also, they think wherever there is a vote bank, we may agree, we may not agree, but हमको वोट मिलते हैं वहाँ पे हम लोग पॉलिसी बनाएंगे. So it's a very serious crime. So there was one king like this in Punjab once. His name was Ranjit Singh. So in his kingdom once it so happened one cow which was just roaming in the street hit its horn, got stuck in a gap in the gate of some house and was struggling to come out. So the people surrounded, अरे गाय बहुत struggle कर रहा है, क्या करे इसको, कैसे बहुत, everyone tried to pull, push. किसी ने बोला अरे गेट को काट डालते हैं, तो किसी ने इस बीच में से ऐसे अरे बहुत आसान है, वो गाय का सींग को काट डालते. So this went to the king. So the king was shocked. Who can be thinking like this? Find out who is that person. They called him. Did you say like this? Yeah, I said like this. You know what you said? You were talking about cutting the horn of the cow? Yeah, I thought that's the best solution. So he was surprised. Hari, what type of a person you are? Who is your mother? Call your mother. So the king called the mother and he asked the mother, what is this? Your son's mentality is thinking about cutting the horn of the cow. Where does this thought come to? Are you okay? Like, you have any problem? So she said, no, I didn't have a problem. Then suddenly she remembered. No, during the labor, when I was delivering him, I saw outside the window, I saw a butcher. So as soon as I saw my butcher, that the thought of, some animal, that impression went into my consciousness and he was born with this type of a thought. So these sanskaras are so subtle. Whatever a mother thinks, acts, eats, behaves, it goes in. So this is just one thing to say that how sensitive were the leaders, the politicians about environment. They will punish anyone contaminating water. They will not do unnecessary drilling. But now in the name of economic development, making this, there is full freedom. And then the results you have to face. So why I said spiritual perspective is, unless the mentality changes, this is going to be very difficult. So once it so happened, you all you know His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. Like he has written that book, Journey Home. So before he wrote the book, many years back, once he was there at the airport. So that time there was Central Environmental Minister. And she was full in powers. So there was an opportunity for sadhu, saintly leader, to meet her. She's an environmental minister. And it was many years back. That time there was not much. He was not so well known also, because he was a sannyasi, sadhu, traveling all over the world, preaching the wisdom of Vedic knowledge. So as soon as they came, so she was environmental minister. So her first question was that, see, there is so much problem, and what are you people doing, sadhus? What are you people doing? Because people who don't know, they think, what are you doing? You must just doing meditation, bhajan, kirtan. ये क्या है? इससे क्या होगा? ऐसा she asked this question. So His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, a very nice answer. So he said, we cut the trees of lust, anger, greed, envy, pride from people's heart. And we sow the seedness of compassion, truthfulness, honesty, living in harmony with nature, respecting nature, environment, respecting Prakriti. We sow the seeds of all this. This is what we do. She didn't have any answer. So this is the spiritual perspective. Changing that mentality, that can happen only through proper association and this type of knowledge. Otherwise, even if you see, but whom it belongs to, what is the proof? It belongs to someone. Isn't it? Like Prabhuji, if you have a car, you have your car, four-wheeler, and you have parked it outside your building, and you have gone to your third floor apartment. The car is there. You are not visible. Where are you? अभी कोई आके some people come and say, अरे गाड़ी एक तोड़ डालो यार इसको, मारो कांच करो, कुछ ये डालो, गंदा फेंको, पंक्चर करो, वो करो, ये करो. तो इसमें इंसल्ट किसका है? किसका इंसल्ट किया? कार का इंसल्ट है, आपका इंसल्ट है. That is the sensitivity. So those who don't know, they are also equally involved. To insult कर रहे हो. And those who know about it, now you know about it. If you know it, the connection has to be taken very seriously. You cannot do that. That doesn't mean that we don't do anything. Whatever is needed, we need. We till the land. The grains grows, we take it. But exploitation. Now you saw what is exploitation? Anything. You know now, in Yamuna River, you read today there is a news that it is so much, there is a problem there. In Delhi and all, there is going to be a problem. Because Yamuna water is completely diverted, and what is going down is all drainage water, everything. It's holy water. So even if you are not directly doing it, you are going to be the victim of all these changes. So we can't change the world, but even one person attitude changes, he can bring a lot of changes in this world. So repercussion on future generation. See why we say future generation. You see our grandfather. I'm sure you all. I remember when I was in school, I used to go to my village. My grandfather, I'll be seeing him busy. He's already 75-year-old, but he'll be planting some fruit trees. He'll be planting. Now he's 75. How many years it will take for the fruits to come in the fruit dream? Huh? So is he doing for himself? For whom is he doing? Future generation. That was a culture. Always thinking about what best I can do for future. Okay, my time is, let me do it. But that's where is the problem. Now, become so self-centered. Self-centered that we don't care कि क्या हो रहा है. But even one person, few people come together and try raising this issue, talking about it, protest against this, it can become a big revolution. And along with that, we give them the solution that it is not just purifying the water in Ganga river, but it's a mentality. The mentality is not what that environmental minister taught. What are you doing? She taught she is doing the best by technology and this, and we are trying to minimize the environmental disaster. But is that the solution? That is what is spiritual perspective. The root cause of the problem is the mentality. And as Bhagavad Gita said, you read 16th chapter, this asuri pravritti will cause rampage. So the demonic and divine propensities are there in every one of us. It is not that it is there, but what we nourish, that will become strong. If you nourish the demonic, that will become strong. If you nourish the divine, that will become strong. So that is why more education is needed on this subject, the way you all are hearing now. Does it make sense what I am speaking? This? So the crisis is there, and there is a role what spiritualists can play with proper understanding. With references from Bhagavad Gita. Daivi Esha Guna Mani. It's mine. So it's a direct insult to him if you are exploiting. Even if he is not visible, you say it's an exploitation. Directly kicking, spitting on him. So that is divinity, the connection. So this slide is showing about how global warming, disruption of ecosystem, treating to threat to human health, degradation of natural resources, food and water scarcity, increased vulnerability, altered food. You all agree? This is happening. So we have to face this, So somewhere it has to be controlled. So this is the so-called modern consumeristic. You know what is consumeristic civilization? You earn and you spend. You buy more things, thinking that more things, and then you create more waste. And that is advancement. And everyone thinks that is perfect. You know that once, you must have heard about, here it is written, that is called materialistic fever. So there is one saying that once a zamindar, his wife, she had fever. She is the landlady. The Vaidya was called. So the Vaidya examined her and he said, oh, you have 101 degree Fahrenheit fever. So someone said, oh, the housemaid also has fever. Please, anyway you have come, you can examine her and tell. So he said, oh, but she has got 103 fever. So when the landlady heard that, she is just a housemaid. How can she be more than 9? That is a fever. The husband said it's a fever. No, but I am a landlady. Oh, she is just a housemaid. So this is materialism. And what do you think? What's a fever? The fever has to be treated. You think that the more the fever, doesn't mean more. The more you are diseased. So this type of so-called misleading propaganda, our material civilization, and we all become victim of that, and then each one of us become responsible for making this planet, which is providing everything what we need for our sustenance and to perfect our life by simple living and high thinking and going back to what we have come here for purpose. Purpose is use this body for what it is needed, utilize it for the real purpose, and then achieve the goal. Not that, just think that enjoyment here at the cost of creating a mess here and thinking that I am the human, more intelligent, awful person. So with all these references, this is what I wanted to just present to you. And you can see this earth, it has to be, we have just one planet. But the way we are plundering, it is not going to last for a long period. Already there is prediction what is going to happen in the future in Vedic literatures. Srimad Bhagavatam is giving prophecy that the rivers are going to become dry. You see ocean water is rising and many of the land will be under, the ice caps are melting, the ozone layer is breaking, harmful radiation rays are entering, the incidence of cancer is going to increase. So future is very dangerous. That sense. We can't change the world, we can change. Each individual plays a very important role in making this problem worse. So you are going to raise this from now that yes, we are responsible, so there has to be. What simple things like segregating plastic. If you just leave the plastic like this, it just goes and into the ocean and all the marine life, they die. So simple things. In our own way, if we are not sensitive to this, we are going to leave behind a very dangerous thing for our future generation. And those who are young, you are going to see more problems. The environment is not a resource to be exploited, but a legacy to be preserved for future generations. So you leave behind something nice. Don't just dump. Think, who cares? That mentality is not going to. So now with all the problem, we cannot resist. Speaking about solutions. The only solution is this type of seminars, talk, education in the school, public forums. This knowledge should be given. And also Bhagavad Gita is clearly saying about what is asuric pravritti, how a person he becomes blind. And with this, naturally a culture of spiritual values which is there in these type of places. When you come here, you understand what is spiritual values. And then there is a question about sustainability. Sustainability is the word nowadays used very often everywhere. Sustainable economy, sustainable health, sustainable agriculture. Means living in harmony with nature, not going against the laws of nature. And simple living, and I think. And this boils down to the most important thing, how to purify your consciousness, that mentality of, me and mine and I and I am the enjoyer. No, it is, I am responsible for this world. I have to be careful about how I utilize, and that comes through regular purification of our consciousness and regularly hearing this subject like Bhagavad Gita. You heard few, I told you just 2 verses, 3 verses. See how much sensitive these verses are, so effective they are. This Prakriti environment belongs to him. So you have no right to insult it. There will be reaction. And which is simplified in this age by chanting the holy name, which is easily available to everyone. Anyone can do that. You make an attempt. The holy name has all the power to suppress the demonic mentality and nourish the divine mentality of becoming more sensitive, to understand, have a broader vision of how to see this nature as belonging to Supreme Lord, develop that respect, that dignity. So that has to be from here. So along with all the solutions being introduced and attempt being made to bring some sanity in this planet, to make this planet a better place, there is a major role for spirituality to be introduced. It is not, we are not saying that the scientists are doing something wrong, but without this understanding that when we say Mother Nature, we say no, Mother Nature, isn't it a natural question? But who is the father? Should not ask. Can there be a mother without a father? So when you say Mother Nature, people say Mother Nature, Mother Nature. Yes, yes, Prakriti. Who is the father? Father is Krishna, the Supreme Lord, the Creator, from where everything is coming. And Mother Nature is another energy. Inferior energy, superior energy. So this is knowledge. So this way we make our life, seeing things what is happening around, we become sensitive. Okay, so thank you very much. And just to summarize, my presentation was very simple. I just wrote there is a crisis and there is a spirituality to play a role, because your solutions otherwise with all the technology, without proper understanding, will create more problems. Right? Even Albert Einstein said, for any problem in this world, some material problem, if you need to have a solution, it has to be some higher solution, not a material solution. One material solution to solve one material problem will create another material problem. But a higher solution, that is Daiviyesha Gunamaya, spiritual. When you use spiritual energy, and that is easily available in the form of holy name to everyone. And with all the scriptures and all these places where we come together to discuss more about and understand and how we can bring a big change, create a big impact in the society by revealing this is our heritage, this is our legacy, this is the truth we all have, it is ours. This is what is real Mera Desh Mahan. Desh Mahan just doesn't become just by saying, but this is what is a real treasure. And we all have a right for it, very easily available. And we study, understand, accept, and then make your life glorious, then you make others' life glorious, make the whole planet glorious. This is what is our responsibility. And without this responsibility, we are not better than animals. It's a little harsh word. I am not saying this, but it is harsh. So that means we are only interested in who cares, eating, sleeping, mating and defending. I don't care for the environment. क्या होगा? किसको? हार में जाने. So that means as good as become responsible. So all the best. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So you have any questions now? Or your solution? So anyone has any questions related to today's topic, what we discussed, you are free to ask and let us try to see what good we can do with this knowledge.
Kindly raise your hands and the mic will come to you, you can ask the question. Any question related to today's class?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you for such a wonderful presentation. Prabhuji, my question is, a lot of people, they are engaged into intoxication, and certainly when anybody who is indulging in intoxication, their mind is polluted and they do nonsense things, and they don't actually recognize what exactly they are doing. They just pollute the nature, and therefore for their sense gratification they just pollute the nature and they exploit it. So how best we can try to eliminate such things happening? which are in and around our habitat. So, is there any solution for that?
Yes, the solution is same that those who are in a state of intoxication, they are not going to behave properly. We have seen a person who is intoxicated, what he talks, what he speaks, how he behaves, is not this. So when his intoxication effect goes down, he is a sober person. So only solution is how to make or understand that to identify that we are this body and I am the enjoyer, that is also an intoxication. Isn't it? Like, you think what you are not. What do you call that person? Crazy, no? You're not gone if you see any asylum or psychiatric ward and all. You see a person there is behaving, sometimes he suddenly says, मैं जवाहरलाल नेहरू हूँ, अभी हेलीकॉप्टर आ रहा है मुझे ले जाने के लिए. So what will you say? He is crazy because he is in a world he thinks, identifies, which he is not. So similarly, we all are on the false identity, thinking that this body and sense enjoyment is the goal of my life. Sense enjoyment means I like to eat nice, and whatever I can see, touch, smell, hear. So to that degree you identify thinking that's the only existence, that's the only perception I have, I don't know anything more than that. So you going to cause some disaster. So just like a person intoxicated, his nasha has to be brought down. So similarly, this false identity, what we believe in, it has to be brought down by only through proper hearing, proper knowledge. So only knowledge is the only solution. Of course, those who are the influence of under alcohol, that of course you have to deal with that person because he has some issues about, he's looking out for happiness in that. He doesn't know that there is a better way of being happy. He doesn't have that. So if he's given a choice and if he has faith, then he'll give up. Isn't that what Prabhupada did in the Western world? They're all drug addicts, they're all alcoholics, they're sex mongers. He gave them an higher taste and they had faith. So he transformed. So you are right that any intoxicated state is a very dangerous thing. Whether it is alcohol, whether it is this false conception of I am the. That's what is said in that 16th chapter, no? The asuric pravritti is a big intoxication. I will do it. I am the controller, I am the enjoyer. So yes, only spiritual knowledge, education, talking about it, and giving simple practical solution about how to balance our life, with not making the intoxication worse. So that's why we have some principles, no? We don't drink this, we don't eat this. Not to make, already we are intoxicated, but we make the intoxication worse. So bring the nasha down. Already, it's not just alcohol, but this intoxication of false conception is an intoxication. You are thinking what you are not, and you are creating an havoc. And the worst thing is that asuric enjoyment. You see, no one cares now. Whether it is pharmaceutical industry, food industry, does anyone care for the welfare of people? So when you don't care, you don't mind contaminating. You don't put adulterating. You don't put medicines can be anything. Who cares? As far as I get my, that is asuric. So as Kalika progresses, this will become more strong. Then you don't know what milk you are getting, whether it is really milk or not. It's already there, people are suspecting. So many places they prepare milk which looks like milk. It's not milk. It is not milk at all. It is some chemical. It looks like milk. Craziness. So solution is education. Does it answer your question?
Yes, sir. Also, I think that most of them are in ignorance because they go on cultivating habits which are not are not in the welfare of the man. So I think ignorance, maybe ignorance should be addressed. They are not well educated regarding it.
So how will you counteract ignorance? By knowledge. Right? Ignorance is like darkness, knowledge is like light. So what we are sitting here and discussing is knowledge. So this knowledge should be available in the schools, colleges, same knowledge. And we have a great treasure of knowledge. Okay, buddy? So thank you very much for taking out your valuable time and आप लोग सब आए हैं अपना अनमोल समय निकाल कर बहुत ध्यान से आप लोगों ने इस प्रेजेंटेशन को सुना। मैं उम्मीद करता हूँ कि आप उसे भूलेंगे नहीं। जब भी आपको मौका मिलेगा इस विषय को फिर से आप दोहराइए जहाँ भी आपको मौका मिलेगा। And let us all be together responsible for not making this planet becoming worse than what it is already. So even one person changes, it makes a big difference. Right? You can't tell everyone. So in this assembly, all you all have heard. So I hope that you don't forget this among yourself. You can discuss whether what I spoke was, does it make sense that we need to speak about the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and how it has got a big role to play in saving this planet. See the relevance now? That was the topic. Spiritual perspective, environmental crisis. Otherwise the people say, इसमें क्या है? What is the connection? This is the connection. So you cannot disconnect anything. Prakriti belongs to God, has to be respected. Use what you need. You need it because it is nourishing. Exploiting means cutting this, killing. That's it. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
So let us thank Prabhuji by loudly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for making us enlightened about this very sensitive topic.
Yeah.
I am definitely sure that everyone is enlightened and everyone must have become more responsible and will continue on this spiritual path.
Yes.
Coming regularly to attend such programs. And we also request you that you regularly come as an enlightened. So Prabhuji has from his very valuable time, he has removed his valuable time from his very busy schedule and he has come all the way from Mumbai just to give association to us and enlightenment for us. So Prabhuji, मैं श्रीनिवास प्रभु को रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा प्रभु जी को एक छोटा सा हमारे तरफ से गिफ्ट from our side to प्रभु हरि Now we'll be having kirtan.
Thank you very much.